guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to work on the second gen just a little bit. Trying to get back in the swing of things, trying to get some regular content up. Still have no relief as far as my foot and back. Like I've said before, I have no pain whatsoever in my back. Everything is in my left foot as far as the neuropathy. Every step is painful. Just trying to work through it because I've got to get some things done. We did sell the dually. It is gone. It went to a gentleman in Indianapolis, and it's there for him to enjoy. So hope you guys enjoyed last night's tool video. Trying to get back in the swing of things of doing tool videos too. If you did not watch last night's tool video, I will say it again. There will be a link in the description. Another huge shout out to Grease Monkey Gloves for sending some gloves out to the P.O. box, keeping the hands clean and protected from things like that. So I'm going to start using these. I have been using one pair so far. I like their products. You can get these at O'Reilly, or they do have an Amazon store. Link will be in the description for that. I'm excited to try out some of these nitrites. Supposed to keep your hands grease and grime free. So I've got I got a 2-pack of the nitrite rubber palmed, just a regular pair of mechanics gloves, and then a pair of blacktop mechanics gloves. Looks like it has, or I'm sorry, it does have some knuckle protection on them. So once again, thank you very much to Grease Monkey Gloves. If you guys did not see last night's video, I will put a link up here if you want to check it out. We did do the, this is the Vulcan weld cart. My intentions are to have the TIG welder, which is the prime weld, the MIG welder, and the plasma cutter sitting right there all in one station. Plenty of room to fit it in there. Once I move my toolbox down just a little bit, we'll be able to get things in there. The big MIG welder will go up for sale here locally on Marketplace. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having everything in one spot. So like I said, if you have not watched it, it's right up there, and check it out. So tonight we are going to try and get the transmission installed. I do have the torque converter filled with 2 quarts of oil. Luckily this one here, because it's a real pain in the ass to try and fill these up, luckily this one here has a drain plug. So what I did is I turned it up on edge. I have a little squirter that goes on the quart bottles, and was able to fill it up 2 quarts that way. So we're going to go ahead, get the torque converter installed, and then try and get the transmission put in the truck. So right now, let's get this torque converter lift up and put in the transmission. All right, when you put your torque converter in, you want to make sure these 2 keyways, or these 2 notches here, line up with your pump gear inside there. You can kind of see the pump gear tabs right there. One top, one bottom. If you look real close, you can see them. It's going to kind of be a 2-step process. You're going to want to hear 2 clunks as you're putting it in and spinning it. So we'll get this picked up, get it set in place, and hopefully you'll be able to hear what I'm talking about. Just want to muscle it up there, set it on your input shaft. As you're putting it in place. Well, there was only 1 clunk, but we got her. Must have had it lined up to where it just went back in place. And when you're putting this in, make sure it is always spinning freely against the flywheel. Then you can turn it and line up your bolts and put them in place. Another thing you can check is this surface right here. It's about 3/4 of an inch difference from this edge over here and the face. So you can take a flat edge, go out and measure it, and you want to have just about 3/4 of an inch difference. So I'll go ahead and grab a flat edge and do that. Looks like this edge needs cleaned off just a little bit before we actually put it in place too. All right, with a straight edge on there, yeah, we're right just about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch, so we're sitting pretty good. It's back there all the way. And like I said, the whole time you're putting it in place, just make sure this torque converter still spins up against that flywheel. That way you can get it lined up with your first set of bolts over here in your inspection cover. That's going to have to be taken off the adapter, the front part of the adapter plate, to be able to get your torque converter bolts in your flex plate. Already got the transmission rolled underneath the truck. Now we'll just try and jack it in place and get everything lined up, get my bolt started, everything's under here, and hopefully we can get this on the first shot. All right, like it said, it is the next night. By the time I got done with everything, it was completely dark, and I just pretty much put everything away and went in the house. The transmission is completely in with dipstick, and do have the cross member in also. I could not find my cross member bolts, so we just drilled them out and used some 1/2-inch hardware with some lock nuts. It'd be just fine. And yeah, so pretty stoked to have the transmission in. That is one major hurdle that I was trying to accomplish. Just didn't know if I'd be able to do it by myself with the state I'm in, but I was able to get it, so we overcame. One thing, like I've told you countless times, sorry, I'm looking for a light. When you're putting that in, make sure you can constantly move that torque converter. That way you can spin it over. Make sure nothing's bound on the flex plate. And just make sure you don't get it bound up, and make sure you're able to spin it and turn it, because you need to be able to turn it to be able to put your bolts in the flex plate to bolt it to it. So to do that, there's a little inspection cover and a barring tool hole right on the front of the adapter plate. Right there is for your barring tool. And then right there is where you'll go in and put your bolts in your flex plate. Now, it's a good idea to just go through and put the bolts in first and get everything kind of tight, and then run it back around, pull them out, and put your Loctite in. Just a good practice. That way there's no chance for error. Like I said, go through, put them all in, just snug them up, and then go back through and tighten everything up with some Loctite. Right now we're gonna go over there, we're gonna make a list of things that needs to be done yet, and then as we go through, we can cross them off, check them off, however we wanna do them, because I just don't wanna forget anything. All right, like I said, we're gonna go through, I'm gonna make a list, and I'm gonna make sure that there's nothing that I miss as far as little things that I need to do. I mean, putting the transfer case in, that's pretty evident. But I mean, does it need to go on a list? Maybe so. I'm holding this is the barring tool that you'll need. It takes a 1/2-inch breaker bar, ratchet, whatever you want to use. It'll go in there and it spins inside the hole on this little rubber collar on your flex plate, the teeth of your flex plate, and that's how it'll spin the engine over. Get it lined up, put one bolt in it, and then after that you use this to turn everything. So this is the barring tool I was referring to, not the barring tool on the front of my harmonic balancer. So I've got it started here. Things that need done yet. It's just some things that I'm thinking of that I can't forget. One thing would be switch out the transpan. So we need to put the transpan on there, which again, it's evident, but still needs done. And my writing is atrocious, so don't judge me. So I need to swap out and put on the other transpan. Need to do the shifter and bracket. Got to build the bracket for the shifter. Need to do the shifter bracket inside the cab, and also the bracket on the pan. So probably want to put both. So we need to do both shifter brackets. There's one down that bolts. There's one down below that bolts to the pan, and we need to make sure and do that. So we are able to have a place to put the hook to shifter to. Top off all the fluids. You know, with the transmission fluid, We need to fill it up with radiator fluid. We need to get rad hoses. We need all of those because I've cut all of them off and went all new. So we need to go from the engine to the radiator and also do the heater core hoses too. So we need to get rad hoses, put all beside that. What else do we need to do? We need to do the cooler, build a bracket. That's one thing I want you guys to help me with. I'm trying to decide where I want to put my cooler at, what location I should put. Dylan over Dirty Diamond Diesel, he put his right inside the fender well. Or not inside the fender, but just in front of the rear tire, kind of tucked up a little bit higher to get a little bit airflow. So I'm trying to decide where I want to put it at. So you guys hit me up in the comment section. Where should I mount the cooler at? In the spare tire location, up in front of like the driver rear tire, right around the air dog area, or on the passenger side. I've got 20 foot of line, so I'm able to go, 10 foot each way. So it should work out pretty good. Wherever I put it, I should have enough AN hose. So we need to do the cooler and the mount. That way I know it's for the trans. So we need to do the cooler and mount, and we need to do the cooler lines. Those will come off the transmission and go back there, wherever we decide to put it, and tucked in front of one of the rear tires or in a spare tire location. I'm really kind of struggling where to put it at. So I'm just kind of need you guys' help to kind of let me know where you think I should put it at. And this is why I'm doing the list here. I may come back later on and add some more stuff to it because I keep going back and forth. I think of things and then I forget them, and I think of things and I forget them. Need to clear all the codes. I don't want to start the engine again until I get the cooler hooked up and all the transmission lines and all that stuff hooked up. Because I don't want to be blowing transmission fluid all over the place, so we need to get that done before I start the engine again. Or I could possibly start it before I put the torque converter bolts in too, but hindsight. So we need to clear the codes just to make sure we don't have any other codes. We'll go ahead and put it on there even though it's evident it needs done. Put the T-case in. And the T-case is empty, so that goes back up there with top off all fluids. So we need to put fluid in the T-case because I have it cleaned and emptied. So we need to make sure put fluid in that. We need to do the drive shaft and also change out all the universal joints. I've done the universal joints before on the rear. The front is a real big pain in the ass to do. So I don't think I'm gonna do the front drive shaft. I think I'm just gonna take it over to my local shop, Lima Clutch and Joint, and have them take care of it. That front joint or that rear joint that goes into the transfer case, it is just, like I said, it's a pain in the ass. So I don't think I'm gonna do that one. I think I'm just gonna let them take care of the front drive shaft. We'll take care of the rear drive shaft, get all the universals changed on it, give it a paint job. So we got the drive shaft, and joints. Anteater. We gotta put the anteater in. Gotta do the anteater. That's the transmission controller. That's gonna tell the transmission what to do. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I can't think of anything else. I don't want this video to get too long and drawn out and get boring for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. I may add some more things to it, and don't know. Gotta put the exhaust on. Yeah. So anyway. Guys, I do appreciate you watching very much. If you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll see you guys in the next one.